Okay, there's a mysterious and intriguing story the other day that was in the New York Times. New York City, December 16th, last year. A 911 call comes into dispatch just past midnight. A hushed voice whispers, "I need police. 312 Riverside Drive. The lady in room 340 is cutting herself. She's mentally ill. She's buck naked and she's mentally ill and she's cutting herself with a razor. That's 312 Riverside Drive." All right, so firefighters and police rush to the scene, a tree-lined block on the Upper West Side between West 103rd Street and 104th Street. But they don't find what they're looking for. 5 calls come in that day for the exact same building. Fights, stabbings, sexual assaults, shots fired. In fact, it's the location for thousands of calls going back over 2 years. But the victims are never located because 312 Riverside is never found. It doesn't exist. The response always ends the same way. Police and EMS standing around looking for an emergency they can't find. The sirens and lights go off and the vehicles leave. Great mystery, right? Well, we'll come back to it in a moment. But in this brief video, I want to ask for your suggestions. What can we do with this story? How can we make this a basis for something fictional? Don't you think it'd make a great movie? Or at least a really cool short story? If you know what a creepypasta is, I'm thinking of doing one that starts out with this mysterious 312 Riverside Drive thing. A creepypasta is a kind of scary story, kind of like an urban legend. It presents itself as real, even though the audience knows it's not. Well, probably not. People suspend disbelief in order to enjoy the story. I know most of the people here are into true crime mysteries, but maybe you'd be willing to help me out a little here with something like this? I've actually written a few creepypastas before, and they got picked up and got narrated on several horror channels. In fact, some of them are even translated into Spanish. I made no money on this work, of course, but it's not really about that. It's just kind of something for fun. Anyway, if any of you can support me on this and participate a little bit, I'd appreciate it. It would be awesome if you contributed some ideas about where we could go with the story. Just leave them in the comments below or visit the Reddit page. If you're really into it and you want to do something more, send me a PM on Reddit. Maybe we'll work something out. Now to finish up the New York Times story. Police finally traced a call to the 14th floor of a building on West 43rd Street, a place that had once been called the Hotel Times Square and was now used for affordable housing, a place to lodge troubled people. A single man, one single man, obviously someone struggling with reality, had been behind every call. So for a creepypasta, we'll need a better resolution to the mystery than that. We need something going on in that disappearing house. One other item I want to mention before I let you go. The next cold case I'm working on is the disappearance of Maura Murray. This was a UMass Amherst student. This story has incredible twists and turns. If any of you sleuths out there would like to help me in any way, please get in touch with me. This is a case that really is kind of crazy and needs some outside-the-box thinkers on this. And finally, I want to thank you personally for your support. Please click subscribe. Like an elevator button, click it a few times to make sure. If you also click like, and we ever run into each other in some shadowy pub with old neon signs and a jukebox, beers are on me. Tell me in the comments section what you drink, and I'll make it a beer and a shot. See you then.